It's a fantastic day to sit across from our city manager. Jan Baum is joining us in studio. Jan, what a great day for a council meeting, and we have so many cool things on the agenda today. And ramping up for a big meeting, of course, of the whole community for the Cleanup Green Up on Saturday. So welcome in advance of this afternoon's regular council meeting today.
Thank you for having me, Lori. Yeah, so it's a beautiful day outside, and you're right, we have a pretty full agenda, and so a lot of different topics, so it'll be an interesting meeting.
Yeah, we'll get started with what's on top for the RDA. That's the Redevelopment Agency, which is, it's really the city council, but there are planners and committees and volunteers that work on these proposals before they come back to the council, but as a separate entity as the RDA. That meeting's at 3 o'clock today. And again, a lot of cleanup, getting some of these past agreements taken care of, and then talking about the future of our storefront grants, our initiatives, and the infrastructure grants that come through this general improvement district.
Absolutely. So you're right, the RDA is a separate entity, and they receive a little of their own allocation of the property tax. And Kathy Laughlin is the manager of the RDA, and she does a really great job. And you're right, there's this agenda appears to be a lot of cleanup of some different storefront grants that weren't taken advantage of them, but we need to get those cleaned up. And then the exciting news on that agenda is the sidewalk project downtown. We're so excited to get that going. Kathy was really excited that the bids came in within budget, and so it looks like we can kick that project off.
That is fantastic. That is going to be one of the top agenda. It is the top agenda item under new business today as the council meets in regular session, the 3 o'clock RDA. So staff solicited bids for what's being called the RDA Downtown Corridor Sidewalk Project. But it is that and a whole bunch more, because there's a lot of infrastructure, and then there's a lot of landscaping that's going in just to really finish up that end section toward the post office, toward the Henderson Bank building. I mean, there's so much historic property there. And I think I don't know if you recall the bids where they came in about $2 million. Was that right?
Yes. So last year we had about $1.5 million budgeted for this project, and they came in well above that. So we decided to, or the RDA decided to defer the project until this year. And so we added a little budget, which was good because we have another year of income of property tax. And so the lower bid this year came in at a little bit over $2.2 million. And it does sound like a lot of money. It is a lot of money. But like you said, that project is it's an intense project. It's just very comprehensive. It includes some water lines, new streets, new sidewalk, and then we all know, or we don't all know, but downtown there are also, there's a lot of stuff going on under the sidewalks and a lot of unknown. And so that added cost as well. The bids are fairly close. I believe that last year that we only had one bid, and this time we have three. And they came in fairly close. I mean between 2.2 and 2.7. And so yeah, we're excited to see that we're within budget, and we can kick the project off. And it'll be a busy summer. And Kathy has a great plan to keep the vendors informed, and to keep the project going, and with as little impact to the small businesses as we can have. But obviously, there's going to be impact. But in the end, I think they'll all be very pleased.
Yeah, and you do have a secret weapon in Elko Area Chamber CEO Billy Crapo. I think she's going to keep spirits up, she and her staff.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, they're conducting a whole bunch of downtown events after absorbing the DBA, and so those beloved activities will continue.
Absolutely. Everybody has always been fans of the wine walks and the different activities that the DBA spearheaded, and now Billy and her group, they're going to take that over, and I'm sure they'll do a great job.
Yep, they're going to do Sippin' Saturdays and, of course, retain the ghost tours and the ever-popular Snowflake Festival.
So wonderful.
Yes.
Everybody loves that.
Yes. Jan Baum is our Elko City Manager, and she's our guest in advance of the regular council meeting. It does kick off with a 3 o'clock RDA meeting. And again, that's the highlight, is getting that bid awarded for the Downtown Sidewalk Project. And then we'll be working closely with Kathy just to keep information out there. I know the city has social media campaigns. We just want to keep the community as informed as possible so they can anticipate it.
Absolutely. And we'll make sure that Kathy, is on Lori Live and informing the public as well. And we'll try to do as much communication as we possibly can.
Perfect. The RDA is also going to be discussing, and this is usually just something that's done every year, but the RDA Storefront Improvement Grant Program. It needs a 5-year. I think it's renewed about every 5 years or so, and it looks like people are continuing to take advantage of the program. So
absolutely, it's a great program, and even if we only have 1 or 2 a year, it's applicants, I should say, or projects. It's well worth the project, and really it couples really well with the sidewalk project, right? If you have a business down there, this would be a great time with the brand new sidewalk and streets and everything being brand new down there in front of your business. It'd be a great time to take advantage of the storefront grant as well.
So you can certainly get before city planner Kathy Laughlin, and I know she has a lot of love for those older downtown properties and can help people navigate that process, at least point them in the right direction.
Absolutely.
So that'll take us to about 4 o'clock in time for the regular council meeting. And again, so many exciting things here to look forward to. I know the city is continuing the process of, hiring professional folks. Applications are due, I think, this week for the police chief position.
Yes, so I can't believe it's already been a month. So we opened up that recruitment about a month ago. It will close tomorrow evening, I believe, and then we'll start that recruitment process. I believe that we do have quite a few applicants so far, so that's great. And I look forward to setting up that, it's not me, it's the HR department, but to set up that recruitment process and that interview process. And eventually that position, the final interview, is in front of council.
Wow. The whole council gets to participate, which is great. And there's going to be a lot of community involvement, I'm sure, and because we've had such good luck with our with the police chiefs that we've had, but certainly some big changes and things were realized under Ben Reed, and then with Ty Troughton taking over, and Ty being in that position for 6 years, and now we're on the doorstep of yet, some other possible changes.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
And they're just both so professional and just great leaders for that department. And so I think some people are nervous about what's to come and some people excited, but we will go through the process and council will choose the best applicant, I'm sure.
And then looking forward to Scott Wilkinson's replacement. He's retiring after dedicating his professional life to the city of Elko as assistant city manager.
Absolutely, yes. We'll be sorry to see him go for sure. He's been such a big help to me, and I'll definitely miss him. And his last day will be June 20th.
Wow, that'll be coming right up.
So we're going through that process, and we're close to ending that process up, and then so then hopefully the hope is that person, the replacement, will be able to spend a couple weeks with Scott and try to absorb some of his knowledge, and he's in the middle of a lot of projects. We have a lot of capital projects that are going on currently in the Public Works Department with Jennings Way and the 12th Street Bridge and Water Street, and there's just quite a few projects going on, and so it'll be good for that person to be able to get up to date with all those projects. And then yesterday we had a civil engineer that started with the city of Elko, and her name is Sarah Schick, and she is also getting up to speed with Scott. So it'll be good for her to be able to spend a little time with Scott one-on-one before the new assistant city manager is named. So we've got a lot of change going on.
Yeah, well, congratulations to Sarah, to Ms. Schick, and then as the new civil engineer, and best of luck to all the candidates in the running for both assistant city manager and the police chief. Those are, again, very significant positions for the future of the city of Elko. And it does tie in with one of the consent agenda items during a classification and compensation study. That was done so that we can recruit and retain the best qualified professionals for the city of Elko. It's a huge responsibility.
Absolutely. So that was a big project that we went through. It took about a year, and now through that process, we have all of these new job descriptions. And Susie Schertz, who's our HR director, she has been bringing those job descriptions to council on the consent agenda, kind of a department at a time. And you're right, this meeting, it goes straight into what our discussion was, and we have the assistant city manager job description on there, along with the city clerk, financial services director. I think even my job description is on there as the city manager, and there's a few, the HR director, airport manager. So anyway, yeah, she's bringing those, and we're very close to having all of those complete, and just checking that box, I guess.
And I know we'll hear from, if not all of these professionals during the course of the meeting, the city council meeting at 4 o'clock today at one point or another, which is really an exciting part of the meeting, is getting to see. I know the city has a survey up right now, right? A community assessment survey.
We do. So we are in the middle of our 5-year strategic plan. And so we do have a survey up right now. It is on our website. And then recently we shared it again on our Facebook page. And we want feedback from the community. And you don't have to live in the city of Elko to give feedback on the city of Elko 5-year strategic plan. We definitely want input from as many people as we can get it from. And that survey will be on the website until April 30th. We can extend that if we need, but Fred Steinman with UNR, his group, is working on that strategic plan, and so I'm sure he's got a date. He's very planned out. He's very organized, and so once that closes, they can accumulate some of that information and help lead us through that strategic plan. And then in early June, I believe, we will start our community meetings, and so Fred will head those up. And he will have open community meetings. And interesting enough, those community meetings, city staff and city leaders, the city council, will not be invited. So it's an open forum. And definitely he wants information from and input on the city of Elko, so in our 5-year strategic plan. So I'm really excited for that to come back and for us to have a 5-year path. And so...
It's a great guide map. It's what leaders need, plans. And Fred Steinman is an excellent professional from UNR. I know he's done a lot of rural studies in particular, so it makes him uniquely qualified, for here in Elko.
And he's done, a lot of our community partners. He's worked on the county, I believe, and NNRDA and Spring Creek Association. And so he's very knowledgeable of our community as a whole. And so I think it is important, though, that the entire community, of course, we are different entities, but we should be going in the same direction, not exactly the same direction, but we should all be going kind of in the same direction. So it'll be interesting to see how it comes out.
That's great. So whether it's recreation or the infrastructure, public safety, whatever your emphasis is, whatever you think maybe the city could be spending more resources on, time and attention, maybe have a grand vision for the future. I mean, now's the time, because one of the agenda items too, I know we'll talk more about that, but designing a new city hall. I mean, what an exciting time for our community, Jan.
Absolutely. So, we do have a city hall. It's got a lot of history, but it's over 50 years old, and we've definitely grown out of it. And our city staff are a little segmented, and it's a little difficult to have meetings and some things like that. We don't even actually have a conference meeting room. So it will be nice for us to get on that path forward, see what a new city hall even looks like, or how much it's going to cost. And so this process will help us through that.
There is an agenda item today, which I know we jumped around a little bit,
That's okay.
But again, it's so exciting. It's to see if the council would approve the recommended site, and because you've had a committee working on this professional services agreement underway with Lombard Conrad Architects, and it looks as though the number one site is the existing site.
Right, absolutely. So there was a lot of talk, and we did do some analysis. I mean, from on the different sites, but. It's interesting because I guess when the city hall was built where it is now, it was kind of on the outskirts of town. But now we're right in the middle of the hub of town, right next to the parks, right next to ECVA. So it really is a great location. And to me, because I'm a finance person, the best thing about it is we own it. And so that just really saves us a lot of money. And we wouldn't have to, and the water and the sewer and everything is there. So it really does make sense. Ralph Negron put together a matrix, and he and I believe Kathy Laughlin and Lombard Conrad worked on that matrix, and it just makes some sense. So we'll see what council thinks.
They'll put that presentation on before the city council at 4:00 today during the meeting. And again, it's an exciting opportunity. You can weigh in on that. You can certainly be there for the presentation, but yeah, it's time. I know in talking to Annette Kerr during the ECVA's party of which you were there, the celebration of the 50th anniversary of that last week.
It was such a nice little event, right? It was just a nice event.
It was so nice.
She does a good job.
And I know she's going to be very pleased that the city may recommend staying there in that location because, as you mentioned, it just makes good financial sense. Plus, it's centrally located, and there's just so much activity that goes. When I was on my way to that party last Wednesday, Jan, I'm sure you drove through the same traffic. There were kids everywhere enjoying all those ball fields.
I just love it so much.
I love it so much. I'm just so grateful that we're getting a new swimming pool. The girders, the steel is up. The building will be shaping up soon. The new pool area has already been poured, and I think they're right on track. But perfect spot for the pool, and it didn't take away anything from the existing parks. It was a great compromise.
It was a good compromise, and sometimes timing is everything, and discussion and all that needs to happen, and sometimes that just works out to where it belongs. So I think I agree. I'm so excited for it. It was nice to see it erect and the building going up, and yeah, it's just really exciting.
And our very own Northeastern Nevada Museum is also on the doorstep of an expansion too, working with the city right there in the park.
Absolutely. So yes, exactly. They're doing their expansion, and that'll be an exciting expansion. And we just have a lot going on, and it'll be nice if the city hall is able to be there beside the ECVA. It's always nice for us to share parking. They have some great events, and we're happy to provide some of the parking for those events.
I know the public appreciates that too, because parking is a very expensive thing to maintain. People don't realize, but you don't just put it in and you're done.
Oh, right. Yeah, it has a lot of maintenance.
Has to be plowed. All the things. So anytime that entities can share taxpayer resources, I think that's really, and Elko does a good job of that, Jan. So
absolutely,
yeah,
I think so.
As long as people work together on those projects. So if we backed up under presentations, the Giving Machine is going to give us an update. And I know I'm among the community members excited to see how generous our community was.
I am too. So that was such a neat project. I hope that they come back again every year, and for them to have their giving machines down at Rayleigh's during the holiday season. And so, yes, Robert Howard will be here to give a presentation and an update on the Giving Machine.
And then there'll be a presentation on the Mayor's Arts Awards. This is for the previous year.
Absolutely. We usually do that on a different arts and culture meeting, but the Arts and Culture Advisory Board was interested in doing it during a city council meeting. So we welcome that, and so that'll be nice. We'll get those awards out.
Yeah, I think it'll be nice. It just kind of elevates the award. Not as many people usually attend Arts and Culture Advisory, which, by the way, there is a recommended replacement for a vacancy, and that's local art teacher Amy Drost.
All right, so that'll be wonderful, won't it? She'll have great input.
Yes, and she is the only applicant, so I'm sure that her nomination will sail right through today.
I hope so.
Yes, we all do. There's a lot, again, to look forward to with the arts and culture community. And again, the Mayor's Arts Awards going out during this afternoon's regular council meeting. Nevada Health Centers will make their final presentation, or at least their presentation, to get the final payment of ARP money, about $683,000 plus.
Yes, so altogether, the City of Elko designated $1.9 million to Nevada Health Centers as part of an initiative during ARPA for mental health awareness and health, or just, wellness, I guess I should say. And so they came to the City of Elko in August. They really weren't staffed up at that time. They had had some turnover, and so the City Council chose to defer that until later in the year, and here we are. I believe they do have some staff in the City of Elko, which is important to the City Council, and so I look forward to seeing that presentation.
That'll be a great presentation as well to see how much they've injected into the community. I know that they have hired an additional mental health provider, and that was a big lift because it's really hard to get the professionals in right now, and we are lucky to have landed a really good one, I understand. So,
oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's just so important to have that service in our city for the whole community. So I think that it'll go well, I hope.
Yeah. Also under presentations from our beloved animal shelter support organization, they're known as LASSO, and Vivian Wright is going to talk about the success of that group and also a lot of outreach and collaboration with other rescue groups.
Absolutely. So LASSO has been key to the animal shelter. In fact, that's what their LASSO stands for, is Local Animal Shelter Support Organization. And they have been key to keeping the spay-neuter clinic going. And part of their vision is moving a little bit. Vivian is right, and their entire board is starting a focus or a vision of perhaps building a new animal shelter. And so she wanted to give a presentation to the council, just kind of explaining why that is and what their vision is and perhaps how they would go about doing a capital campaign. And so this will be good education for the council. I'm sure they haven't heard about this yet, and but Vivian's very passionate about it, and so it'll be a good educational presentation to council.
And it is just the first steps, and before people get too excited, because anytime you start talking about capital campaigns, there's a huge opportunity for nonprofit support and participation, because if there's anything people love more than children, it's their animals.
Absolutely. So there is a lot of support out in the public, I'm sure, and Vivian, in order to start the process, what they would need is some type of a design and some type of a goal of what to raise. And so her request to the City Council would be that perhaps that we could put in the budget a design, and then she can use that design for a preliminary cost of what she needs to raise.
We have so many more partners than we had, and as you mentioned, I mean, we often fill up the shelter. We've achieved a no-kill status, which is huge.
Absolutely huge. They've done such an amazing job this year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And this is a non-action item, so it is just a presentation. Mm-hmm. Followed up, and look at us filling up all the time today. That's awesome. Followed up by the police department's annual report, and this will be the final for our outgoing police chief, Tyler Troughton. And I perused that report, and it's jam-packed. I advise people go online, look at the report. It's attached to the agenda, be on hand for the presentation. But our police department has tackled a lot of issues.
They absolutely have. They are so productive, and I know that he's going to highlight the CSU unit, and they do a great job. But I don't think it's just them. I think that, we have a great patrol unit, we have a great detective unit, and so all together, they work really well together, and they've accomplished a lot.
Yeah, that CSU that our city manager, Jan Baum, just referred to as the crime suppression unit, and it's a specific detail of existing patrol officers. I mean, they're putting on dual hats, but they're focusing on these kinds of property crimes, which have been a real nuisance and a great loss, especially to small business owners. So
absolutely. So they've done a great service to our community.
And then Fire Chief James Johnston doesn't want to be left out of all the excitement, and so he's proposing a new fire engine. And who doesn't love a new fire engine?
Right? Yeah, so new fire engines are not inexpensive and they do not come quickly. And so this is a good presentation to the council, explaining to them how much a new fire engine costs, some of the maintenance that we're putting into the current fire engines, and that there's a three-year lag on fire engines, and a nice price tag of a little over $1 million. So I think it's a good planning for the chief. He's so organized, and so it'll be good for him to make this presentation to the city council and see if they're interested in. This is a non-action item, but perhaps at the next meeting, I believe Julie Davis, our financial services director, will bring many items to the council, and this will likely be one of them, just to say, do you want to put this on the budget or not?
Yeah, and that's a really important discussion too. That was next, even though it's not on the agenda, Jan, but the city is having serious conversations right now because we are having some budget woes, and it's still a mystery.
It really is a mystery, and we've been told by the state that there's some catch-up payments to come, but we haven't received those yet, or if we have, then they weren't what we anticipated. And so we are receiving sales tax at the 2021 level. And so, but obviously our wages are not at the 2021 level. And so Julie Davis is doing a great job at really scrubbing through the budget and making sure that we're really budgeting for what we intend on spending.
Yeah, because as it is, with that calculation that they're using 2021, we're short by about $2 million.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly it. So, which is disappointing, but we need to adjust and pivot and go forward.
Well, and again, Jan, thank goodness that you're at the helm. You're a former financial service director, and between you and Julie both, you know where these issues, where to look, I guess, and why it's so important and that we budget conservatively, because Elko City's always done that. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And I think that, in every budget, there's usually line items that, well, we might have to use this, or we might, whatever. And so this year we're going through that with a fine-tooth comb, and if there's any mites on there, then we'll probably take those out of the budget.
All right. So expect more on that. The final budget is due in May?
Yes, so Julie Davis will present the final budget, the last meeting in May, and it's due June 1st.
Okay, so an exciting summer set ahead. So again, beginning with today's regular council meeting, that is at 4, but at 3 o'clock, you want to be there early or watch online at elkocity.com, because we're going to get the exciting news about all of our downtown improvements. I wanted to mention too, the We the People sign is back on, but in a much smaller scale. And I think they have about a $10,000 budget. They're going to do a call for artists.
Absolutely. So that's an exciting project, right? It was, before it was just, I think it was so large that it was difficult for people to get their mind around it. This is a smaller, a lot smaller project.
Kind of like the love signs that you see in big cities, I think.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And so, I think that this will be a lot easier to get your mind around, and maybe even make a bigger impact, just because it's in our downtown area and people will be able to see it. And so, I think that it'll be a good project.
Yeah, it's nice because people like these stops. You can make a stop, grab a sandwich, get some gas, and then say, well, why don't we relax in this park or this downtown, and then start taking selfies with some of our sculptures and our boots and things.
Right,
yeah.
right. So it'll be nice to see what kind of art artists they choose, and see how that turns out.
So still more to come on that. Stay tuned. But that's also, and it will be timed, I understand from the group, to commemorate the 250th, our national celebration. So
right, and that is coming, and I keep hearing chatter about it. So it should be exciting.
Good timing on that. Well, with Jan Baum, again, the huge event that's set for this weekend, we wanted to save it for last because...
Absolutely, yes. Clean up, green up. So come down to the city park and participate, and just participate in cleaning up our community. I love this event at the city, and it's out in the county as well. Spring Creek Association participates as well. And just the community looks so fresh and ready for summer after this event. So if you haven't signed up, I believe you maybe still can sign up, but just show up at the city park and be part of the activities, or just go outside your house and clean up, around your house. So it's a great opportunity. And then I believe that Saturday is also the free landfill day. So if you do decide to just clean up your yard or around your house, you can take any rubbish you have to the landfill for free.
It's a great opportunity, and as you said, it's grown. I think this is the 19th annual, something like that. Or maybe more.
I'm not exactly
I know.
sure.
I was like, wait a minute. I have a lot of
it's-
flyers, but I know it's up there. So
Absolutely. And it's a great event. Everybody gets so excited for it, and it should be a nice day.
it should be a nice day. And Kirsten Siratek is helping coordinate this. So if you're just listening, saying, "Oh yeah, we meant to get signed up," whether it's a family, a team, an individual, you can go to the park. She said Saturday morning, like around starting 7:30, 8. I think they want to get everybody launched. There'll be a little safety meeting, but you just look for this sea of brightly colored shirts because the volunteers that signed up in advance.
Yep. If you signed up in advance, you'll have this bright colored shirt, which is great. Then there's just a lot of awareness around the city.
And I know PACE Coalition is doing their responsible drug take back. That'll be set up behind the Sherman Station. So any prescriptions, and it can be veterinary medicine too, because often you have something lying around from a dog or a cat and you want to dispose of it safely. You should never flush those things because we don't want those pills in the water system. And even putting them in the landfill is not good. So it's better to have this drug pickup. They take them in big barrels and then they incinerate them without any release into the environment.
So yeah, what a great program.
Yeah, so that'll be happening. Then a big tree planting, I guess, too, Jan. That'll be at our sports complex.
Yes, so James was telling us that some of the product didn't come in, but for sure they will be planting trees, and they have some product to put on the ground, and I'm so excited to see how that will look.
Yep, another topic for another time. We'll have our Parks and Rec director back in because James
Absolutely.
is anxious to get going on the next round of improvements for our city amenities, and that includes pickleball.
Absolutely. So we'll start our pickleball project in fiscal year 2026, and it is in the Recreation Fund budget.
Jan, thanks for the visit today, and thanks to all the city staff, all the volunteers, all of you who are serving the planning commissions and council members. You just bring us a lot of great vision, and we have a bright future, a lot to participate in and look forward to, Jan.
Absolutely. There's a lot going on. Thank you, Lori.
Thank you, listeners, for joining us for Elko Live today.